Good morning, everyone, and thank you for watching the City of Janesville COVID-19 community briefing for Friday, May 8th. This briefing is provided every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 8:30. My name is Dwayne Sherrick, and I'm the Planning Section Chief for today's operational period. We'll begin this morning with information provided by one of our community partners, Vice President of Forward Janesville, Dan Cunningham. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Dwayne. Great to be here, everybody. Thank you. Again, my name is Dan Cunningham. I'm the Vice President of Forward Janesville. And for those of you who don't know, Forward Janesville is essentially the area's Chamber of Commerce. We have about 500 members of all shapes and sizes, and we represent businesses throughout South Central Wisconsin. We've been hard at work on a number of initiatives ever since this crisis has begun. And, really want to highlight a couple things that we've been up to. Safely reopening our state is a massive challenge. Now more than ever, we need clarity, communication, and confidence. Getting our economy back on track safely is arguably the biggest challenge we've ever faced. It's a difficult balance that will require everyone to be on the same page with common goals. Last week, Forward Janesville unveiled a strategy that we call the Better Together framework. It's really a blueprint for creating a public-private, nonpartisan task force to safely restart Wisconsin's economy. You can go to forwardjanesville.com and click on our COVID-19 resources page to view our framework. The centerpiece of the Better Together framework is something we call the Badger Task Force. And really, the task force would be led by 3 chairs, one from the public sector, one from the private sector, and one from the healthcare sector. The task force will have 9 specific areas of focus, and it'll really cover every aspect of the crisis. Everything from our testing capacity to the availability of safe, dependable childcare, and really everything in between. The Better Together framework is not meant to be a replacement for the governor's Badger Bounce Back Plan or WMC's Back to Business Plan. Rather, it's meant to complement those plans. Our hope is that state leaders will take the best parts of all of the recovery plans out there and create the nation's most robust and comprehensive recovery blueprint. We hope that state leaders can put politics aside and get experts to the table, virtually of course, to focus on how to get Wisconsin safely back to work. We've called on the governor's office to adopt our framework quickly as every day counts. And I think you've seen in the last few days some good bipartisan meetings with the governor, legislative leaders, and hopefully those will continue. Because we don't need to have a red plan or a blue plan. We really need a Wisconsin plan to safely reopen the economy. In addition to the Better Together framework, we've been working day and night on several other initiatives to help Janesville's businesses community stay on its feet. We've offered one-on-one assistance to businesses that need help navigating the governmental bureaucracy to secure financial assistance. We've also convened an experienced group of advisors to help businesses with their business health and triage sessions. So think of it as like a business temperature check, right? Make sure you have the supplies and the money, and hopefully the resources you need to get through the next few months. We've also held weekly conference calls with prominent experts from many fields, including City Manager Mark Freitag. Thank you for joining us earlier this week, Mark. These calls have given our members the insider information about the COVID-19 crisis and how to cope with the challenges we all face. We're also focused on our local response to the crisis. We're working on a strategy to help every business in Janesville through the pandemic. The world will look back on this COVID-19 situation not only in terms of how many lives were lost, but in terms of the economic damage, how many jobs were lost and how many businesses closed. We must focus on the opportunity to come out ahead on the other side of COVID-19. Janesville's made many great strides in the last decade, but we have to fight hard to protect the vibrancy we've created. The Wisconsin Restaurant Association said earlier this week that as many as 50% of all restaurants could close if this current situation persists for much longer. But we don't have to lose 50% of our businesses and restaurants in Janesville. That may happen in other places, but it doesn't have to happen here. It is up to us. So we're exploring a campaign to encourage our citizens to support, shop, and save Janesville businesses safely. Once most businesses are given the green light to reopen, it'll be time to circle the wagons and support Janesville businesses. Working with our partners at the city, the county, and the private sector, we'll do everything we can to make sure that Janesville comes out of this crisis standing tall. Rest assured that there are dozens of people in Janesville who are working 24/7 on navigating this crisis and the challenges we face today and in the future. Together, we are Janesville strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. Next, we'll review our incident objectives for the city's COVID-19 response, which include safeguarding the community, including our residents, businesses, and visitors, deterring the spread of COVID-19 within our capabilities, providing essential services to the community, and safeguarding City of Janesville employees in order to preserve our city service power. This time, we'll hear from Situation Unit Leader Maggie Dar.
Thank you, Dwayne, and good morning, everyone. I'm Maggie Dar, SIT Unit Leader for this event. Yesterday, Thursday, May 7th, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services reported that there are 9,215 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19 in the state of Wisconsin. There are 324 confirmed positive cases in Rock County, and we are up to 12 deaths in the county. They're also reporting that there have been 2,847 negative tests in Rock County. We continue to monitor our staffing and personal protective equipment levels. We don't have any concerns there. We have the people and the gear to safely provide you with the essential services like the water that you use, police and fire responses, sanitation, and more. And actually, some of our service areas are actually busier than ever, like our landfill and our building division. One thing to note is yesterday was the first free distribution of cloth masks that were made by volunteers, and the city and the United Way of Black Hawk Region were partnering to give those away at the senior center, and they actually ran out of masks. They gave away over 300 masks yesterday and had to shut down early. So the next opportunity to get one of those free masks made by just charitable people in your community will be next Thursday, May 14th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's curbside pickup at the senior center. Thank you so much to United Way Black Hawk Region and all of the local volunteers for getting people equipped with these masks that can help prevent the spread in our community. We're going to continue to keep in close contact with all of our partners throughout this and ensure that we are coordinating our response. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Next, we'll hear from Economic Development Director Gail Price.
Good morning, Janesville. Economic Development Director Gail Price. Just a reminder that we have links to the various programs to support businesses at growjanesville.com. Click on the banner at the top, and that'll take you to those various programs. A few reminders here. The Rock County Emergency Small Business Loan Fund is still open and available for Rock County businesses that have been open for at least 12 months and have 20 or fewer employees. The staffs at the county and the city are reviewing those applications at this time, so certainly encourage you to apply for that program. SBA Paycheck Protection remains available, and the Federal Reserve Main Street Lending Program are also available. A couple of reminders tying in with our partners at Forward Janesville. We want to encourage you to spend stimulus money locally, support your local businesses, because that money gets recirculated and helps the economy more locally if you spend it local at your favorite local establishment. If your favorite local business is not open yet, do what you can to hang on to it and spend it when they are open and available to serve you. The city has drafted an economic recovery plan that's going to be reviewed by the City Council on Monday the 11th. I encourage you to take a look at those materials. You can go to the City of Janesville website and click onto the agenda for the City Council meeting, and the materials are there. Certainly encourage your support for that program. Again, if you've got questions, concerns, need assistance, feel free to call the Economic Development Office at 608-755-3059, and we'll be happy to assist. Thank you.
Thanks, Gail. Next, we'll hear from Public Information Officer Molly Nolte.
Thank you, Dwayne. Good morning. I'm Public Information Officer Molly Nolte. If you're interested in receiving important information from the City of Janesville, check in often at the city's website or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also sign up for the city's press releases at our city website, which is www.ci.janesville.wi.us/email lists. For COVID-specific information, you can visit that same website /COVID-19, and there you'll find links to community resources, including information from the Rock County Public Health Department, our archived briefing videos, our frequently asked questions sheet, CDC information, business recovery information, and much more. The City of Janesville trusts government-sanctioned sites like the CDC, the Department of Health Services, FEMA, and others to get trustworthy, up-to-date information, and we recommend that our residents do the same. If you have questions, please call our community hotline. It's available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that phone number is 608-373-6027, and for 24-hour support, you can always call 211. Please share this information with your family and friends, your community groups, social networks, and anyone else who may benefit. And we also encourage our social media users to use our hashtags #OnePositiveThing, #JanesvilleStrong, and #SpendLocal. And residents can also look forward to a postcard that will be arriving in their mailboxes starting as early as today into next week. It's a friendly reminder to continue to wear your masks while in public, and it also contains these resources as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Next is Finance and Administration Section Chief Tara Semenchuk.
Good morning, Tara Semenchuk, Finance and Administration Section Chief for this operational period. The EOC Finance and Admin section is documenting all personnel and operating expenses related to the city's COVID-19 pandemic response for potential reimbursement from the Federal Emergency Management Agency Public Assistance Program. The FEMA program reimburses 75% of eligible assistance expenses, while the state has agreed to reimburse 12.5% of eligible assistance expenses. The EOC response team has logged 6,169.5 hours to date. We have captured expenditures of $941,219.83. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Next is Safety Officer Captain John McManus.
Good morning. John McManus, Safety Officer for this operational period. We still have a very consistent safety message for you. It's as important or more important now than when we started as we start to open up our society again. The safety unit would like to continue to emphasize washing your hands often with soap and water, especially after you've been in a public place. If soap and water are not readily available, use a hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. We should avoid close contact with people who are sick and create a space between each other of at least 6 feet when outside of the home. Formulate a plan if somebody inside your household does become sick. The CDC is recommending wearing cloth face coverings in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain, like the grocery store. The simple face coverings are intended to slow the spread of the virus and to help people who may have the virus but do not know it from transmitting it to others. The cloth face coverings recommended are not surgical masks, nor are they N95 respirators. Those are still need to be reserved for medical first responders as recommended by the current CDC guidance. When you choose to wear a fabric non-standard mask or any other mask in public, continue to maintain 6 feet of social distancing. As always, workspaces and residences should be cleaned thoroughly with EPA-approved cleaners, and high-touch surfaces should be cleaned with a higher frequency. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Now we'll hear from Incident Commander Chief Ernie Rhodes.
Hi, good morning, Janesville. I just want to say thank you to United Way Blackhawk for their partnership in working with our volunteers to make our simple cloth face mask that we gave out. And also, I want to thank the Wisconsin Mask Warriors for making these masks too. And I just want to remind everybody that we're looking for volunteers to make our cloth face mask, and if you're interested, please contact United Way Black Hawk. Our current emergency operations is that we are watching the city for any outbreaks or hotspots, and we are planning for any potential future testing that is required in our community. I want to remind everybody of the 3 goods: eat good, sleep good, and exercise. Be sure to talk to your children because they are stressed out too. And for really good information about coping with stress for children and yourself, go to the Wisconsin Department of Health website, the COVID link, and go down through the page, and you can find ways to cope with stress. As far as your kids, love them, talk to them, play with them, read to them. This is a season we're in. It's a short season, and hopefully that when this is over, you can look back and really reestablish a good, strong relationship with your children by loving them, talking to them, playing with them, and reading to them. Talk about if somebody gets sick in your family. Make sure that you are thinking about what that looks like and what is your plan to manage that person or your family member in your family that if they should get sick. Also, our hotline is 608-373-6027. It's staffed Monday through Friday. If you need any assistance in the community that is not an emergency assistance or a 911 call, please call the hotline and we'll try to assist you with information and or resources. Want to remind everybody that our infrastructure is still in place. Our electricity is working, our sewer is working, our streets are safe, fire and police are operating, Department of Public Works is operating, the city government is operating very well. However, a natural disaster can change that in a moment's notice. So this weekend, if you haven't already, put together a family disaster kit. And if you want to know where you can find a list of what the family disaster kit contains, go to ready.gov. As always, we're out of our norm. We're getting into a new norm. Give each other grace and do one positive thing this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now we'll hear from Janesville City Manager Mark Freitag.
Thank you, Dwayne, and good morning, City of Janesville EOC members, City of Janesville employees, and certainly a warm welcome to community members that are either listening in or watching this broadcast. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Dan Cunningham for coming out and providing us an update on what Forward Janesville is doing. I want to say personal thanks to him for his community leadership. We certainly appreciate that. And we want to say thanks to Forward Janesville for being a community partner with the city and assisting businesses, individuals, organizations weather the storm that we currently find ourselves in. And so thanks to Dan and thanks to Forward Janesville. Folks, we're wrapping up 8 weeks of our new normal, if you will. We have had the EOC operational now for a full 8 weeks, and I appreciate that people are tired, some are afraid, some are concerned, and many are frustrated. I get that. As I've said, we are entering a new normal for society, at least for the short term, perhaps for the long term. And so how do you get through this? You got to adapt, and that's what we're doing, is we're adapting and we're finding creative, innovative ways to continue to do business, to continue to serve the public, and whether it's a family or an individual, how they conduct family and individual life in this new reality that we find ourselves in. And so I certainly appreciate it, but I would encourage you to look for ways to adapt to this new situation, this new environment that we find ourselves in. Folks, I know that on Sunday we're going to celebrate Mother's Day and want to say congratulations and thank you to all the mothers out there in the community. For those that are going to do family gatherings, we encourage you to keep them to a very minimal number. If you're going to go out to the cemeteries to visit a grave site and remember a mother that may have passed, we encourage you to wear masks, we encourage you to social distance, and we encourage you to avoid contact outside of your family unit. I will tell you on the, from a city perspective, we own and operate a cemetery, Oak Hill Cemetery. Our parks crews have been out there working very, very diligently the last couple weeks to make sure that that cemetery is ready for Sunday and for any visitations. And so we just want to thank the parks crew for making that a priority for our community. As we wrap up, I would remind everybody, it's about community change. This is our new normal. If you're out in public and you're exposed to others, please wear a mask. It doesn't protect you, it protects all those that you come in contact with. And if the community's doing that, we're going to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in our community. Folks, as I've said before, we're going to stand tall, we're going to stand firm, we're going to stand together. This is about community change because we are Janesville strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. This has been the City of Janesville COVID-19 Community Briefing for Friday, May 8th. The community briefing is provided every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. Please continue to be safe and stay healthy, and we thank you for watching.